week ago, Dana was in here kind of bemoaning the 43 pointers that you guys took in that game and your lack of physicality. And you come out tonight and get to the free throw line 39 times and you kind of dominate them inside. What was the message throughout the week that kind of led to this moment?
Yeah, I think that we had a couple good practices throughout the week, a lot of physical practices, a lot of playing. And then, we know Oregon State every year we played them. It's been, 1, 2, 3 possession game. So, every time we play them, they come to play. And we knew that, going inside, we knew their bigs were kind of a little bit slower than me and KJ. So we wanted to establish that first. And then, from that point on, when they got, 7 fouls with 60 minutes to go from there, we just kept attacking and getting inside-out shots and shots that we want.
Jackson, they get it down to 3, and then you really take over there. And the team does, but you score all your points in the second half after that. Just what was going through your mind when it got to be a one-possession game at that point? Because clearly you really took over offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like shots just kind of started dropping for me. I feel like they're eventually going to drop if I take the right shots. And, once I see one go down, I feel like I'm kind of like, once I see one go down, I get my confidence really going. So I was just trying to be aggressive in the second half, trying to make a little run, make the right plays, and I was just getting open on shots.
Kwame's playing like he was tonight. How does he elevate your guys' ceiling and who you guys can be?
I mean, big time. We're gonna need that effort from him all the time, and he's really capable of that. When he goes to the boards like that, it really just gets everybody going, and it really gets him going. So, we're going to need him to play hard, especially these next 2 games in Vegas, big games, physical teams. So, I think he's going to bring the same effort and hopefully, just keep going.
Yeah. I just agree with Jackson. He went out there and, was rebounding super hard and, I kind of got him involved in the game. And from there, it led to him attacking to the rim, getting fouled, hitting free throws. And, like Jackson said, we're going to need that from him all the time. It was great to see him have a game like this. To boost his confidence going forward to these next couple going into this tournament that we got. It's nice to see him do that, and hopefully he keeps his confidence rolling.
You mentioned the tournament. Just how ready do you guys feel to kind of elevate the level of competition, to elevate your game to try to match that?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think this is a great opportunity for us to come together as a team and go out and compete against these ranked teams, and then I think. Going into this week, we're going to have a hard couple practices before we go down there to Vegas. And, we got to get after each other in practice. When, that game against who we play first, Auburn, right? Auburn first. And, when we play them, go out there and translate practice to game and physicality. They're a big physical team, so we got to out-physical them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're going to have a good week of practice, get ready for that physicality. Both teams are physical, going to play really hard. We haven't really seen any teams as talented and as physical as them yet. So we're going to have a good week of practice and really get ready for that tournament.
You only have 2 turnovers since coming back from your injury and none of the last 2 games. Just how does your handle feel and how much was that affected at all by the injury?
It feels good. I mean, I don't feel like it really affected. The injury didn't affect that at all. I would still like to make a lot more plays. I feel like I got to get my teammates involved even more. But having 0 turnovers the last 2 games is definitely something, I need to keep going, but also just would like to get some more assists, getting more guys involved as well.
Coach mentioned a few games ago that he really wasn't happy with how the pick and roll is moving. How have you seen that improve, and how has that helped the team improve in a grand scheme?
Yeah, there was times in the last couple games where teams were, kind of hard hedging and, all of us bigs were kind of slipping out, kind of not sure what to set the screen, slip out. And, he kind of made that a big point this last week in practice, set screens and roll hard. I think we did a good job tonight of, holding our screens and rolling hard. And, that was something that he wanted to see improved and that we worked on in practice. And then, we translated to the game tonight.
This could be for either of you, but what has Dana told you guys about situations that could be where there could be a coach's challenge involved? Because, there was Kwame's one there where it went out of bounds and he was telling Dana, I swear, do you have to be right when you tell coach something like that? Just
I don't know. I kind of just think it's the flow of the game. If KJ didn't touch it and he's saying he didn't touch it, then I think coach has that trust in all of us, on the team. And then we have a film guy that's got the play right there that he can turn around to. But I think it's just him having trust in all of us on the team.
What does it mean to each of you that you're undefeated in this rivalry, and for you, this is your career? so
Yeah.
you will never have lost to them.
Yeah, it feels great. I haven't lost them in 5 years, I think it's been, and I know it's a big Oregon rivalry game. Grew up watching this game, every year, and then 2 times when we were in the Pac-12, we'd play them twice. But I like this game a lot, and moving forward, I'll definitely come back and watch more of these games as long as they're happening. But Coach Tinkle, he does a great job with his team. I have a lot of respect for him. He recruited me when I was going through the recruiting process. Super nice guy, and I wish the best for him and his team.
Dillon Brooks was sitting courtside. What sort of relationship do you guys have with him, if any, and what's it like just kind of having that on the sideline there?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool seeing him come back. Obviously, he's a big part of this program, and Coach talks about him a lot, how hard he played here and kind of like a role model, what he was here, leadership, all that stuff. So, him coming back and just came in and talked to us in the locker room a little bit after the game, that's cool for us just to have somebody who's at the level we all want to be at come back and share some words and, we appreciate the support he shows.
Yeah, kind of like what Jack said, him coming back, showing the support. He came back this last summer, played with us, ran fives with us and stuff like that. So, he's always coming back and showing support and showing that, this is, his college home. And it's something that, I think all of us appreciate, being able to learn from him, see the way he competes. And then, we know what he does in the NBA. And like Jack said, is always talking about him, the way he competed, the way he defended, was a vocal leader. And, that's something that me and Jackson are trying to do and get better at. So, learning from him is a big thing for us.